All right, hi everyone. My name is Kim Gamez and I am the CEO and founder of Mi Padrino. Today we have a special guest, Jason Rubio from Austin's Best DJs. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Kim.
How's everything going in Austin?
It's going all right. We're trying to get through this pandemic. We're trucking along, and we're still booking gigs. Surprisingly, even right now during the pandemic, we have one this weekend, a quinceañera.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Now you've been at Austin's Best DJ. Now you're the owner, correct, of the company?
Yes, my wife and I are the owners and founders of the company. We have about 10 DJs that work with us and about 3 photo booth staff.
That's so cool. So you've been with the business for 8 years, but you've been DJing for how long?
Oh man, since I was about 13 years old, so quite a while, well over 2 decades, man. It's been quite a journey, but yeah, quite a while.
That's so awesome. So I've asked Jason to come on and do a presentation. He does such an amazing job with marketing his business. He's probably one of the, if not the number one, quince and Hispanic wedding DJ in the area. And I figured I wanted to open up his knowledge to the rest of the country for the vendors out there looking to see what they can do online with content marketing. So yeah. Jason, if you're ready, I'd love to have you start.
Absolutely. So let me go ahead and share the screen. All right. So this is talking about, again, content marketing for Quince pros and why your business needs it right now. Super, super important. I'm going to go over a lot of details on why it's important and how it can really, really help you and change your business and grow your business here in your market. A little bit about me. I have a master's in education and another master's in public administration, none of which you need to run a business, but it's something I do. That's my background. I'm actually a teacher as well, and I'm certified to teach business and finance and several other subjects. I like to learn, so I have a lot of different things that I do. That's just kind of who I am. I think it's my ADHD. And I'm the founder and owner of Austin's Best DJs and Photo Booths. My wife Dan and I started it about 8 years ago, and it's been quite a journey. The first couple of years, it was a lot of learning for me, and I really had to figure out content marketing to actually get noticed and get found. And so that's what I'm sharing with you today. I'm going to save you the heartache of having to work for years and years. I'm going to show you exactly what to do and how to do it and get on Google page 1, right? That's our goal. I write for Mobile Beat. I've also been featured in DJ Times, Brides Magazine, and several others. And we are the most visited local DJ site here in Austin. So we have more website traffic and visitors than any other DJ site in Austin, Texas, which is pretty cool. And it's all due to content marketing. I learned marketing and content marketing SEO on my own. I didn't get a degree in it. I didn't talk about any of this or didn't learn any of this in any of my classes in college. It's just something I knew I needed. And so I started to look around for information online. And surprisingly, there's a lot of free stuff online that you could learn all this for free. So also do Google digital marketing stuff, analytics, ads, all that comes into play when you're marketing your business. So let's get started. So what's most important for your business? So if you're a photographer or a DJ or you own a venue, what do you think is most important? And I put skills here. Having amazing photography skills, important. Mixing skills as a DJ, important. Do you think website or your social media is important? Marketing and sales? Or even your equipment, right? A lot of people say, oh, I have this amazing setup that I bring, and that's important, and that's what separates me from the others. Venues, they may say, we've got the nicest venue in town, the biggest venue in town, whatever it is. So, my question to the audience here is, what do you think is most important, right? And I'm going to show you why all these are important, but marketing and sales is more important than all of those. All right, so let's talk about that. So here's some local results. I took a SEO tool called Uber Suggest, and I ran some results on my nearest competitors for the Austin market for just the search Quinceañera DJs. Austin. Quinceañera DJs in Austin.
Let me hold you up real quick. You just said a tool.
Uber. Yes. Uber Suggest.
Oh, Suggest. Now, is that a free tool?
Yep, it's free. There is a paid version, and it's like $10 a month, so it's pretty cheap. But the free version gives you so many searches per month, and you can look at your competitors, their domain, all that.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And so this is my closest competitor, and basically it looks like they just started ranking right here in April toward the bottom. They rank for about 58 words, so that means 58 different things that people type in, they will come up for. They're on page 1 of Google, and they get about 15 people a month that go to their site. And their domain score is 0 out of 100. That means they're not doing so well, but they're going to get there. And backlinks means how many people are linking to their site. There's 3 right now. That's one of my competitors. Next one does quite better, and this is their traffic. And as you can see here, they kind of slowed down toward the end of the year, and then I guess they're busier here. But then you've got the pandemic that hit, right? And so they slowed down here as well. January they took a big dive, and now here they are, kind of leveled off. But they get about 23 visits per month. All right, so that's one of them. Now let's do national, and these are people who rank nationwide for quinceañera DJs only. You just type in quinceañera DJs on Google. This is one of the people ranking, and they rank and get about 731 visitors a month. Doing a little better, certainly a lot better than some of these local guys. And this is their traffic over time. I did look at Mi Padrino and wow, you guys are killing it. You all have amazing results.
Yeah, we get a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one, and they're getting about 71, so not as good, but again, they're staying busy, right? And this is a national result for DJ sites. I tried to compare apples to apples, right? So I just did DJ sites only. All right, and then this is me. And so I rank nationally and locally, and the highest competitor I have is getting 700 visits a month. I'm getting almost, about 3,500. This was taken about 2 weeks ago. I think it's a little more now per month. So clearly doing better than them, and I rank for, I think the highest one they had was 150. I rank for almost 12,000 keywords, right? So quite different when you compare apples to apples, right? Domain score is about 16. It's not super high, and clearly you don't need a super high domain score to get people visiting your site, and that's the point here. All right, currently, if you can see this graph here, this green part represents how many people are finding me on Google. This was from just about a 2-week span. So about 2-week span, and about, clearly well over 50% found me on Google, right? And so the direct is people who typed in my business name, Austin's Best DJ, social media here, and this small little slice here, the most expensive slice, is referrals, which is going to be websites like Wedding Wire, The Knot, things like that. So clearly you can see Google, the free tool, is paying off for me. And that's how people are mainly finding me, well over all the rest. All right. And so the goal here, the point is marketing is important. You can be the best DJ, photographer, or have the nicest venue in town, the biggest venue in town. But if no one knows about you, you won't be booked. Right. So marketing is super important. All right. So content marketing. Basically what it is, you create relevant content for your audience, right? Who is looking for you and your business, and create content that they want to read. You want to drive that traffic to your website. And the goal is really to just inform and educate them about what it is that they may need, not necessarily to sell them, right? And over time, you're going to sell anyway, because they're going to be visiting your site looking for information. And that's going to lead to higher sales, right? So again, the goal is to inform and educate your market, not necessarily to sell yourself over and over. There's a lot of websites that do that. Don't do that, right? Just put that content out there and inform them. All right, we'll go a little bit more into detail about that. What are some examples of it? Blogging, vlogging, making videos, infographics, white papers, or just like research. And of course, social media is a big factor as well. All of these are content marketing. Different forms of it, but definitely all important. All right, so this was the hardest one that people ask about. They always ask me, well, what do I write about? And my first point is breaking news. No one cares about you, all right? And what I mean by that is everyone listens to the station WIIFM. What's in it for me, right? Tell people what's in it for you, what's in it for them, right? What's in it for them, get to the point of what they are going to benefit from your service, your business, your online shop, your venue, whatever it is you do, right? So answer some common questions about that come up every week, right? Somebody emails you and asks you a question, answer that on your website. Make a frequently asked questions page and help people find the answers they need. We have one, and I've got about 25 questions on there. And so no one hardly ever has a question for me, because I'm like, hey, just visit the page, and they do. And they're like, wow, you answered everything I needed. So do that. Number one, you help your target audience, whether they book you or not. Number two, they're on your website longer, and that's a good thing for Google, right? The longer they're on your website, the better. So again, inform them about your field, be as helpful as possible, answer really, really thoroughly. Don't just write a 100-word blog, all right? Unless you're a really, really high-ranking site, those 100-word blogs will do nothing for you. So try to write at minimum 300 words. You can write more, certainly. The longer, the better, but you don't want to overdo it either. But also the last thing is don't just write about your gigs. A lot of DJs do this. I see it. I kind of, check out other people and what they're doing. A lot of photographers, DJs, other people do it. Yeah, last weekend we were here, we did this. Again, how does that help your customer, right? You can write one blog for a whole month of all of your gigs. That's fine. But don't write every week. This is what I did last weekend. People don't want to read that. They want to know what's in it for me, right? Keep that in mind.
So I have a question for you with that. You go
Sure.
back. So tell me, like, give an example. I know I have some of Mi Padrino that I can share, but give me one example of maybe an article that ranks really high for you that isn't really talking about you.
Yeah. So one of my best ranking articles would be how much does a wedding DJ cost? That is literally the title of the article. And I talk about all of the factors that go into pricing. I don't just say this is my price. I say here are the factors to consider, right? How long is your wedding? Where is your wedding? How many setups do you need? Are you looking for extra things like lighting, things like that? So really we go in depth about all the different types of DJs there are. You've got everybody from Craigslist, brand new DJs who are going to be $200 for the entire night. Great deal, but maybe not the best choice, right? And then we talk about everybody as high as $5,000 a night, right? There's people out there here in this market that charge $5,000 for a night. It's crazy. We don't charge that much. But yeah, so we talk about all the different levels and what the differences are, and how to. We even write, here's the questions you should ask your DJ, and that's a blog as well. And I link to it, and then people can literally copy and paste our blog, and obviously take out our answers and just say, please answer these questions, DJ, and the DJ should be able to answer them. So yeah, that's one of them. All right. So write topics for people, not search engines. I know everybody wants to rank on Google, and there's a lot of ways to trick Google, right? At least you think you can. Google's a pretty tough algorithm to trick, though. So make sure and write about topics that your audience cares about. Again, something like, how much do DJs cost? How much do photographers cost? How much does a wedding venue cost on a Saturday night, right? I mean, things like that you could write about, or a quinceañera venue. How much do mariachis cost for a quinceañera? You could literally write something about all of those things. Don't try to pull search engines, meaning write for people, as in, let's say you're trying to rank for the key term quinceañera DJ Austin, right? That's what people type in a lot. And so when you write your blog, you wouldn't want to write, are you looking for quinceañera DJ Austin? That doesn't make sense, right? I know that you're trying to rank for that word, but don't write it that way. Just write natural language. That's the point. All right. Also, link to relevant websites outside of your own. Certainly want to interlink in your site to other blogs, other pages, but link to another relevant site who talks about the same thing, and that's going to help your site and certainly help the other site as well, like Mi Padrino. I actually link a couple of my blogs to some of the things that you write on here. And so if I say, hey, if you want to learn more about quinceañera dresses, here's the website, right? And then people can click on that and go to another site. Google sees that as a good thing because you're trying to help your website visitors and not necessarily just trying to keep everybody on your page. So that's helpful.
And I'll just jump in there for those of you that are watching. Mi Padrino helps in every aspect of the party planning. And so we do have articles about, questions you should ask your DJ or different things about DJs. We also have that about venues, photographers, bakeries, you name it. We also just have random topics, whether it be quinceañera wording. That's our #1 article, by the way.
Yeah.
How you word your quinceañera invitation.
Interesting.
And it's so random, but it's our #1 article. So there is lots of things. Yeah, feel free. Ping away. We have lots. We have thousands of articles.
Yeah, you guys do a great job. You'll have amazing content. And that's what it's about. I mean, helping your readers. You're not necessarily trying to sell them. You're just helping them, and as they see you as a resource, they're going to think of you first when they need something. So be that go-to person. All right. So going into desktop versus mobile right now, this is about a month ago that I took this, half and half almost, searchers on desktop versus mobile, but focus on mobile. And actually, it's probably changed by now. I'm sure it's more mobile now. Google only crawls mobile crawlers, and so they don't even use desktop anymore to measure. And so you have to make sure your website is mobile friendly, which means if you pull it up on your phone, take a look at your website. If you haven't done it, do that. Go on there, look at what your website looks like. If you can't find things, if you can't press contact now or whatever it is very easily, you've got some work to do, right? And if you don't have a website, make sure your Facebook looks great, or whatever it is that you use, make sure it looks great. So make sure it's mobile friendly. Tip down here is people don't really read your website. They scan it. So include the most important content at the very, very top paragraph. Say what you need to say right away, right? Say it at the very top paragraph, and right under that, put a call to action. Put something right there if they need it, right? Like click now to learn more, or contact us today if you need help. Then you can go on. The more call to actions on your page, the better. All right. So if you have more contact us buttons, the better, right? I've tested this out. Used to have one at the very bottom, and I started adding more and more. Now I have about 3 per page, and we certainly have improved our click-through rate. So do that. It's easy to do, and it's going to help you. All right. So SEO goes along with content marketing, and it's kind of a whole different animal, but I'm going to briefly talk about it and try to explain it pretty easily for you. So what is it? It's basically just optimizing your content for search engines and humans, like I said. And good content shows at the top of the results, right? There's a lot of factors that go into who Google chooses to be on the top, over 200 factors. But again, make sure that you're writing great content first. That's going to be the most important thing. And as long as you're doing that, Google will reward you. So remember that. All right, so here's something scary to look at, but also eye-opening, right? So this is on the right here. You see a number 1, and then you see a number 10. This is how many people click on page 1. So if you notice here, the very first result gets the most clicks. And as you go down to 10, they get less and less. And look at page 2. Page 2 is between 10 and 20. A huge drop off from page 1. Most people don't go past page 1. 90% of people online don't go past page 1 for Google, right? Some will, but very few do. So being on page 1 is the holy grail, right? You want to get on there. 92% of online searches are done on Google. Google dominates right now. Other ones are going to be Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo. Don't ignore those, because we get actually a lot of traffic from Yahoo, and research shows that people that use Yahoo and Bing they have higher SES, right? So they have more money to spend. So you also want to think about Yahoo, all right? So don't forget those guys. It's cheaper to do SEO than pay-per-click ads, right? And that's going to be where you pay for an ad on Google, because if you look at this last statement, 70 to 80% of people ignore the paid ads. So they see the little word ad on there, they're like, nope, don't even look at it. 80%, 8 out of 10. That's a lot, right? So SEO really, really matters. Going here to the map pack, this is going to be when you type in a local result like plumber near me. You're looking for a plumber. Google shows people who are local to where you are. They first take into account your location, and they're going to show you the businesses that are right near you, and they're going to show you the top 3, right? And so this is called local SEO, and this is actually a great thing, because this is where you can actually outrank the national websites. A lot of local businesses can outrank this amazing online, like Yelp, right? I outrank Yelp in a lot of different things because I'm a local business, right? And so this is how to do it. The Google Maps are actually more clicked on first before the bottom 10 results, right? So these little 3 packs with the little stars and the ratings, about 44% of people click on those. And then another about 8% or so will drop down the menu and see a few more local businesses, and then they go to the organic results, right? So this map pack is amazing. It's really important. It can really help your business. All right. So let's move on. This is how you get to the Google Map Pack. And actually, Mi Padrino could do this. I'm sure you guys already have it, but if you don't, you can certainly do this as well. I've seen national businesses do this for different cities. So you could do this. Sign up for Google My Business, and make sure you put your venue on there, your photography business, your DJ service, whatever it is you do. Sign up for Google My Business. It's easy. It takes a few minutes. And this will actually give you a nice looking website as well. There's a little website feature on here that you can use. If you have no idea how to do a website, Google does it for you. You literally just put in a few things and they will make you a nice little page. And it's free. You don't have to pay for hosting or anything like that. All right. So again, it gives you a competitive advantage over those large nationwide businesses. And again, this is a website that they have. Reviews are very, very important. All right. Reviews are everything in this business. Any service business, people want to know how you're serving your customers. So they're going to look at your reviews. All right. I was looking for a guy to do gutters on my house a few months ago. And I look at the reviews, right? And there was a guy who had about 4 reviews or 4-star reviews, had a few. And people care about the most recent ones, right? So I read his most recent review and it wasn't a great review, and that's okay. People actually would rather see a business that doesn't have perfect reviews because they know you're human, right? And so I looked to see how he responded to that client, and wow, he literally like basically went off on them. And I was like, wow, I don't want to do business with that guy. Like he literally put down his client, and I was like, nah. And so I didn't hire him. So remember, reviews are really, really important. 91% of people 18 to 34, which is our market right now for quinces, their parents are in their 30s, right? Maybe a little older, but they're looking at the reviews, right? So 9 out of 10 people are looking for reviews, and reviews for higher priced products, right? Which is what we sell, right? Your business, your venue, it's higher priced. Those really matter. And having reviews converted people 380% more than businesses that did not have reviews. All right. Even just 5 reviews, people saw a 270% increase. Right. So go out and get some reviews. If you don't have this, set up your Google My Business and get those reviews. Very, very important.
I'm sure most people that are watching have a Facebook or Instagram account. So once you have a Google My Business account, share that link with
Yes.
your followers and just say, hey, I need reviews. And you'll be surprised the number of people who come out and give you just amazing reviews, your customers.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, it's weird because a lot of people don't leave reviews. It's hard to get them. Even we struggle with it. Even though we know we did an amazing job, people just aren't really keen to leave them reviews. We get about 10%, maybe 15% of customers who leave them. And we do our best at every single event we do. But I'm always baffled. I'm like, I wonder why they didn't leave a review, right? I'll email them a couple of times.
Yeah, you'll be surprised if you ask someone
Yeah.
directly, would you mind taking like 2 minutes and leaving a review?
And
And if they don't, then you have a reason to reach out again. Like, I know you were busy, but do you mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Keep following up. Do it a few times. I found that, there was people who said, oh, pay them, offer to give them a gift card, whatever. I tried that. It kind of worked, but I found recently that just asking and being sincere about it worked better. I didn't have to give them anything. I simply said, if you can leave us a review, it would really, really help other clients like you looking for a quinceañera DJ or a photo booth. And it would really help our business. You'd be surprised at how many people did it. I was like, wow, I didn't have to give out anything. Just give them a reason, right? So going back to your website speed, this is really important too. Make sure your website speed is fast. If you have a website, if you have Instagram or Facebook or My Business, Google My Business, don't worry about this. But this is for you that do have a website. Make sure that you make it as fast as possible. For every 1 second that you speed it up, you get 2% more conversions. So make sure it's fast. An example would be someone who makes $100,000 a year. If they were at 6 seconds and they went down to 3 seconds, right? So 3 seconds of speed faster, they would get 6,000 more sales for doing nothing other than just speeding up that website, right? So it's very, very important. Make sure that you make it fast. Try to get it under 3 seconds for your desktop and mobile, because 4 out of 10 people will abandon the site. They'll go back if it takes longer than 3 seconds. Kind of crazy.
Jason, do you have a good resource? I know there's a couple free resources out there to test your website speed,
Yes.
but do you have a offhand that you like to use?
Yeah, I use GT Metrics, GTMetrix.com, and then you can just type Google page speed, and there's a tool that they have that's free as well. And the cool thing about both of those sites is you put it in there, and then it tells you all the problems you have and how to fix them. And so, yeah, you can get it fixed. It's kind of complicated to fix, but you could certainly probably hire someone or whatever. Some of the things you can do yourself, like it'll say, your images are too big. Please make sure that they're compressed. And you can do that on your own. But yeah, it'll certainly help. All right. So options to learn SEO, you can do it yourself. or hire a pro. Learning takes time, but it's free, right? And hiring a pro is expensive, but remember the results take time too. Minimum 6 months usually. But my saying is this, yes, 6 months is a long time, but what are you doing anyway, right? So make sure that you're working toward that goal because it's going to help you. All right. So hiring a pro, again, it takes about 6 months, right? It is expensive. It can be, depends. All right. And so here's the things to avoid. Don't go on Fiverr and just hire anybody who says, oh, I can speed up your website. I can do this, do this, do this. I learned the hard way, right? When I got started, I hired some people and I didn't know anything about this. And basically it did nothing for me. And it ended up just basically wasting my money. It'll actually hurt your SEO and your website to hire some of these guys. They're going to basically just put a bunch of spam links to your website, things that are really going to actually make it worse. So be careful when you go on Fiverr. There are some good people on there, but a lot of them aren't great. When you Google cheap SEO services, be careful on those. You can get some SEO for about 150 to 200 bucks a month. However, know that when you leave them and you're just like, hey, I can't afford it anymore, or, it's not really working, it's been 6 months, they will basically undo all of their efforts, right? So be careful with those guys. They'll just take off all the links and you're back to where you started.
That's crazy. There's
Yeah.
something I learned. So if you're watching and you're like, well, then you're basically telling me where do I start? Like, who can I trust?
Yes.
I always reached out to people who I looked up to, like someone who's their website, like they had everything going for them. What was say, hey, do you know someone who's looking for a side project?
Yes.
Like, I need some help, and you'll be amazed. Again, post on social. I'm always posting, like, do you have a suggestion for a plumber? But the same thing, like, hey, I need somebody to help me with SEO. Do you know anyone?
Yeah.
You'll be amazed by the people that'll reach out and say, hey, I know this, or hey, yeah, I'd love to make some extra money, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Join your local vendor group. So if there's a wedding vendor group in your town, a quinceañera vendor group in your town, I think Mi Padrino has vendor groups as well. Go on there. It's a great resource. And be sure to ask them, hey, anybody know someone that can help me with my website or SEO? And yeah, they'll be on there for sure. And you'll know that these people know what they're doing because they're recommended by other wedding professionals or other quinceañera professionals.
Right.
All right, so learning on your own, there's a lot of free tools and you can do YouTube videos. It's basically you can learn content marketing and SEO free, right? I did. And then remember there is, the only con is that Google algorithm changes. And so every year or so they make an update. But again, if you're doing great work, you're doing a great content, you don't have to worry about the updates. They won't affect you. If you're doing sneaky stuff, it'll affect you. All right. So let's see, here's some free resources. Google Digital Garage, HubSpot Marketing, SEMrush, edX, Search Engine Journal. All these are all great resources, right? You can get started and literally just type in SEO. And all of these people have free courses to help you.
I go to HubSpot a lot. HubSpot is a great resource. We're a paid client of HubSpot, but I love free marketing tools. They're amazing.
Yeah, they are. They're great. Yeah, I learned a lot on HubSpot. They're great. They have a lot of good social media stuff and content marketing stuff. All right, so social media. This is where a lot of people are. A lot of the quinceañera vendors are only on social media, and that's okay. It works. In 2019, almost 91% of millennials use it. Basically, the question is who uses it? Everybody, right? 78% or so of Generation X, and then 48% of baby boomers, right? So everybody's on there. 54% of people, so about half of people will use social media to research. So they may see you on Google, they're going to do their research. So make sure your social media is up to date. Please do that because I've seen a lot of businesses that will have an Instagram or a Facebook, but their last post was like 3 years ago, right? Don't do that because then your person who's looking for you or liking your page, are like, well, let me research them. 3 years ago, are they still in business? Right? And so make sure it's up to date, even if it's just once a week posting, hey, whatever it is, do that, right? It's very important because if you don't, people are going to go on to someone else. So make sure that you do that. Instagram is a younger audience. 72% of teens are on there, right? That's quinceañeras. So you need to be on Instagram for quinceañeras. TikTok is a brand new one that's really taken people by storm. Last year, and they did a survey in February, they hit 1 billion downloads. and they beat out Instagram and Facebook as far as number of downloads go. So make sure that if you're not on TikTok, research it, think about it. It's pretty easy to use. I confess I don't do a whole lot on it. I have a page, but I need to start getting into this.
You need to start dancing, Jason, for TikTok. You got to work on those
Yes.
DJs.
Yeah, right. Almost done. All right, so for social media tips, be you. Show your personality. Don't just post about your business every single day. Hey, book us, book us, book us, book us. We're amazing. We're the best. We're this, we're that. Don't do that. All right, don't be a robot that only says the same thing every single day, every single week. Don't do that. All right, just show your personality and who you are. The behind the scenes work great, right? For your Instagram stories. Hey, I'm here in the office, whatever. People want to see who they're working with and who they're hiring or who they're buying from. So make sure and show that personality and what's different, right? Be different from everyone else. There's a rule called the 80-20 rule. And basically that means only promote your business 20% of the time. 80% of the time, talk about other things that people care about. Don't just constantly say, hey, we're awesome, buy from us, right? 80-20, make sure you're following that rule. Engage with your followers. So if people are following you, take a moment to go on there and write a comment or like some of their statuses. The more engagement you do, the more followers you get. All right. Focus on your top performing platforms. So if you find that Instagram and YouTube is working amazing for you, focus more on those, right? Because that's where you're seeing the results. And you'll definitely even do better. Pictures, very, very important for all platforms. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Video is worth 1,000,000, right? People love video. It's the new thing. It really isn't even new, but that is what's taking people and taking their interest. A lot of people will watch video, all right? Last thing says repurpose your content, which means, take one article and you can make probably 5 other articles out of it or 5 short posts out of it. So you can do that too. If you think that this article is amazing and you want more people to see it, you can even run a quick ad on Facebook or Instagram for that article to get even more traffic to your site. All right, when to post. This is basically a small chart for Facebook, because I know a lot of people use Facebook, and the darker spots are going to be when's the best time to post. And obviously you can see Wednesday at noon, best time to post for Facebook, right? There are all these darker spots. Make sure and pay attention to those times. This is Central Time, by the way. And so, or actually at 11 on Wednesday. So in about 45 minutes, y'all need to get on there. All right. And then all these different days, right? So make sure you're posting on those days and times. It's going to really increase your engagement on Facebook. Instagram is here. Also Wednesday at 11, really interesting. And Fridays have a lot of high engagement on Instagram. Really, any time of day is good, but if you do it on these times, you're definitely going to see more people on. All right. And so overall, why content marketing? Why should you do this? It's a long-term plan. And again, you saw what my website results were, right? That's all free stuff. It's costing me my time to write some of these blogs, but basically that's what's bringing me visitors right now. Right now, during this pandemic, we're getting less people searching for Quinceañera DJ in Austin and more people searching for what are some songs I can dance to with my dad or things like that, right? And so our content marketing is helping right now. For the first time in 8 years, I have more people visiting our content than looking for a DJ. All right, and location is everything. So in the digital world, being on page 1, right? And then the last one is be the expert in your field, stand out in your market by writing great content. All right, that is it. This is how you can contact me. This is my website here. I have a link to it, but I think I can send it to you as well, Kim, and you want to share that. They can check it out. If you are not sure what I mean by the blogs, go to my blogs, look at it, and see what I'm doing. Feel free. I don't care, right? It's fine. Go through and see what I'm doing. Make sure you do something similar. If you have a question about Google My Business or anything, email me. I'm happy to help. I can certainly give you some advice. What's that?
Can you give your email address real quick?
Yeah, it's actually Austin, AUSTIN, best, BEST, DJS, Austin Best DJs at Gmail.
That's awesome.
Austin Best DJs.
Well, thank you for that. I actually wrote down a couple tips for those that are watching that think like, okay, I really want to do this, but I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
A really great way to look like an expert is to actually interview other experts.
Absolutely.
People look to Mi Padrino that we're an expert as far as an event planning.
Yeah.
But using Jason because he's an expert in this
Right.
specific subject. So do the same for your business.
Yeah.
So if you want to interview your friends in the industry, and that's really easy. They're giving you the content. You just write out to an article. Maybe you can use some of their pictures. Wham, bam, you have your first article.
Yeah, and then whoever you interviewed is going to share it all over, right? So that's a double win.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then same thing even with your couples or families that you work with. Instead of saying this was their event, maybe interview them about like a topic, whether it be how far along did you start planning or what have you. And that's just another great article you can write up. So,
Absolutely.
thank you, Jason. This was a great interview. Well, not even interview, a webinar.
Yeah.
If any of you that are watching want to reach out to Jason, please do so. Myself, Kim Gamez. You can always reach me at kim@mipadrino.com. We're going to start doing these more. So if you are an industry expert in your own world, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you. Jason, again, thank you so much. This was so helpful. And I can't wait for the event industry to start booming again. But in the meantime, we can all take care of our businesses. So when it does so, then we'll be ready. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you. Yep. Bye-bye.